Hi everyone, I'm Julie.
And I'm Genny with a G. We're cousins and best friends.
Who live on opposite ends of the country, so we decided to start a podcast. Welcome to Get Funny. I just thought of something terrible that as the thing was like leading in for us to record, you know, we're always like, oh, it's blah 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 day and it's da 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 and whatever. I was like, oh, what day is it? I was like, oh shit, never forget.
And you forgot. I can't even. Tough day, man.
Tough day. Never forget. I will never forget how one September 11th, let's call it 2 years ago, back when I was still at my old job, my healthcare job, I was like on Slack with my coworkers and I mentioned something like we said what day it was. And I was like, yeah, it's so weird to me still, like every time this day rolls around. And they were like, what? And I was like, oh. And then, so they were much younger than I am. And they were like, oh, sorry, I was in preschool. I'm like, okay. So they have forgotten. They may have not actually known about it in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's wild to think that some people weren't even alive when it happened. Like, it's wild.
Some adults weren't even alive.
Yeah,
Get out.
That's
Get
wild.
out.
I thought you were going to mention that I would never forget, though never forgets, of people posting selfies and then hashtag never forget, which is just so disrespectful. Like, there's so many disrespectful things that we can do, but doing a selfie of yourself on a day that has nothing to do with you in that way.
People do that. They do it on like
I know,
Memorial Day. Like, there is not a holiday that a person who is committed to doing a selfie will not post a selfy during.
Selfie takeover. Fun fact: although I can never forget, I never watch any of the things about September 11th. Like, everybody who did have to go through it has their own trauma with it, but I was so traumatized that's why I started watching Food Network. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but I started watching Food Network as a, because they kept telling us, if you can't watch it, because it was on the news. For folks who maybe weren't alive and you are young and hearing us, it was on the news literally nonstop. And I was in 10th grade. And they said, if you can't watch it, watch something else. Try to distract yourself. And that's literally how I started watching that on Food Network. And so I can't actually watch anything on TikTok. They were trying to put like little things to hear some recordings. I can't do it. Can't do it. Never forget, but I'm trying to not.
No, I think it's okay to like distract yourself from things that you know are going to make you upset. I listen to this podcast called Celebrity Book Club, and they always talk about 9/11 because in a lot of celebrity memoirs, 9/11 comes up as like some turning point that made this person, the celebrity, like make a huge change in their life. And so now for you, 9/11 was the thing that got you on the Food Network. Yeah. For Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, 9/11 is what made them realize that they should get married, apparently. I don't even, it's like so many like little stupid things. Yeah, I don't think that happened to me at all. But I will say in the, how many years has it been? 22 years since 9/11. The one thing I have learned about myself, which I already knew, but, is that I have a really fucked up sense of humor. And I say this because I don't think, I should make this clear, 9/11 as a concept is not funny. Everyone can agree, I think. But I laugh when people say, nowadays when people say never forget, because it's turned into such a like joke. And to the point where a few years ago, it may be 10 years at this point, honestly, The Onion ran a fake Subway ad. And the joke is that there's no tragedy so big that capitalism will not try to co-opt.
Right.
And so it's literally a Subway ad, and it's got two sub sandwiches looking like towers, and it says, fly on in for September 11th. It's a deal that you'll never forget. And I love it. I love that ad so much. My friends all know that it cracks me up, and it has now become like a tradition that every 9/11 I have several friend groups where we will exchange that picture. And it is, again, I feel like people who know me know that I'm not making fun of 9/11. I'm making fun of just capitalism being ridiculous. And like that, especially nowadays, that could be a real ad. Like, well, we're so far down.
The thing was, it was like, yes, last year or the year before. It was like a small shop or something. I don't know where, but they did do a 9/11 thing. It was really in poor taste. It was really bad. If I find it, but it really was real. And they had to like apologize or like, the standard apology after the nonsense that they know. Like, and I don't want to talk about it too much, but similar to Ashton and Mila and this apology tour they're on after writing this letter in support of their supposed friend over 25 years. Like,
a convicted rapist.
Right.
Danny Masterson.
And it was really interesting. I just saw somebody else post this, friend from high school posted. She was like, I think of this line from Harry Potter, and I don't want to butcher it, but in essence, it was like, it takes a lot of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but it takes more to stand up to your friends.
Okay, bars.
Right? And I was like, like, whew. Anyways, all this to say,
it's true.
Never forget.
Hashtag never forget.
Hashtag never forget. And
fly on in for these deals.
Put a selfie on just in case people forget what you look like. You just
right. And also the troops. Don't forget about the troops.
Can't forget about the troops.
We support the troops.
You know what we can't forget? COVID numbers, because clearly there's
okay. Wow. You know what? Oh no, Jenny, why did you say that? No, you're so right. Our president, Joe Biden, tweeted this morning about 9/11, because everyone has to tweet something about 9/11. They have to make a statement, blah, 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 never forget. Yeah, we got it. And he listed the numbers, the casualties. And I felt so like, I was like, God, that is a heartbreaking number. It is a huge tragedy. I want to be clear. I'm not diminishing it. But when you look at the number of people we've lost to COVID,
right? No, it's
many of which were,
what was it, like 100,000 times more or something?
Yeah, like incredible.
Yeah.
It just, anyway.
And like our whole lives changed. Yes, it was a tragedy.
My whole life has changed.
And yet we can't bring bottles more than 3 ounces. We can't wear shoes unless you got pre-check, baby, and Jenny does.
And I do. So,
I really do love that if whoever's listening to this can really tell how many topics we can fit in 15 minutes.
I was about to say, right before we started recording this, you were like, let's go through this fast because we're both sweating. We're both hot right now. Neither one of us have whatever. It's fine. We're both hot. And somehow
and you're not. And if you want to get with me, give me one shot, top that.
Nice. That's, oh God, that's my favorite. My favorite white rapper. We said we were going to do this fast. And then somehow we started talking about everything from 9/11 to Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher to flights to airplanes to, I don't even know, to Subway sandwiches. And yet, we have not talked about the thing that I wanted to talk about because I need to provide this update.
You're right.
And I didn't want to do it, y'all, but... Please. Oh, God. Our last episode ended with me sharing that I had a plan to go see one Beyonce on her birthday show, 9/4, 1 week ago today. And I didn't have tickets. Which is fine.
Did it?
I have friends who will show up to a show and they always get their tickets. I know a lot of people who do this. I was like, fine. And I had mentioned that the friend I was going with had talked to her ticket reseller friend. And he was like, yeah, this is the best plan. So we were like, okay, fine. We're going to go. I got cute. I had the sequin skirt. I did my makeup cute, whatever. I wore sneakers so I'm not crazy.
Smart.
And
protect them feet.
Yes, gotta protect the feet. And, I live pretty close to the stadium, so we stayed here for a little bit. I had a little Aperol spritz.
Okay, a little spritz.
Yeah, and then we went down. And when we got there, we saw a lot of people doing the same thing we were doing. And we were like, that's fine. We're all chilling. The vibe is great. And the night keeps going. Beyonce's not on stage yet. We actually got there a little too early, but we were nervous about being too late. So we were just chilling. My friend got a hot dog. She hadn't had dinner. There was a vendor outside. There's a bunch of vendors. There was a vendor who was selling they were selling like shots. Like you could buy a shot of liquor. Now we didn't do that because I don't think that you should buy a shot from an open bottle on the street, but they also had canned beverages. So like I got a White Claw, she got a beer, whatever. We're just chilling and they were cheap. And then the night keeps going and then we hear Beyonce and we were like, well, that's okay because we had both agreed. Now, granted, I've already seen this tour. I know which songs come first and my friend hadn't been yet, but she knew that the first part of the show is ballads. And we love all Beyonce songs, but those were not the songs that we like needed to see live. So we're like, it's okay if we miss this, whatever. And we're still looking and we're checking the SeatGeek and the StubHub and the Ticketmaster and the Vivid Seats and the Facebook Marketplace and the blah, blah, blah. And the tickets are not going down. And we're waiting and waiting and waiting and they're not going down. And we're like, okay, maybe they'll go down after a few songs. No. Even worse is that, so like that weekend, Ticketmaster released a bunch of seats that were listening only tickets. Like you had
I heard about that.
No view at all. Yeah. And apparently Ticketmaster sold those for like $60 or $70. And then of course people bought them up. And then the cheapest I saw those for the day before were like $250 for listening only.
Wow.
And then it got to be that the night of we're outside the stadium and now all the listening only seats were going for $1,000. I was like, you have got to be outside of your mind. So all this to say that we heard at least half of the show from outside SoFi Stadium, which we could hear a decent amount. It was like, okay, Beyonce's there. That's cool. But we did not get in. We did not get in.
Fortunate soul.
We had a lead on Facebook Marketplace that ended up being a scammer. And all the back and forth. Right. All the back and forth with that. And like the excitement of maybe thinking we were going to get in and then realizing no, we were just okay, let's call it.
Scammer?
Girl, you know what? That is a story for another time. I do not want to talk about it. But needless to say, it was a scammer. So we went home and we were sad and we were also like, we were like, well, we had a time, we hung out, we heard some stuff. We got to participate in the mute challenge from outside and everyone around us did the same thing. And while we were looking at tickets, my friend messaged her ticket reseller friend just to be like, hey, are there any sites we should be checking? Blah, blah, blah. Like things are still not going down. And he was like, yeah, so this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Cause like, Taylor Swift was just here and pretty much once her show started, the tickets went down immediately, but not so with this Beyonce birthday show. And he made a joke. He was like, I guess that's how we know who the real queen is. It's like,
hello,
Taylor shade. But
I'm
then
not gonna be mean, but
no, I know. But then he also was like, and if it makes you feel any better, I can't even get tickets and this is my job. Like I truly could not get tickets to this show. And I sell these for a living. And so we were like, okay, well, I guess we'll just go in or go home. And we did. And I was sad because we were so sure that we were going to manifest this for ourselves. And I was like, this is not good manifesting energy. But afterwards, when we couldn't get in, I was talking to Richard. I was like, maybe I'm just not a person that these kinds of things happen for. Like, I know that I'm not, but sometimes I try to pretend and then they don't happen. And then I'm like, So yeah, that made me sad, but I'm fine now. It was a week ago. I still was upset like the next day, like seeing all these people I knew in LA who were there. I'm like, you were there? You just went the night before. What are you talking about? Like, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah, that's my sad story. So
sorry, but at least you had fun with your friend outside.
We did have fun until we didn't get in. But like we had a good time. We talked to a bunch of vendors. Oh, we got some fans from some vendors, which was cute. But
I love the fans.
We didn't get to use them inside because we didn't get in, but it was fine. It was fine. It just, wasn't meant to be. And I do feel lucky that I did get to see her already on this tour. I was just like so sure that we were going to get in for the birthday show, but despite that, I had a great weekend as I mentioned I was looking forward to. I went to my friend's wedding that weekend, and then my best friend from college and her fiance came into town, and we hung out with them all day Sunday, and it was a blast, and like we had a great time. And I was telling her after I couldn't get into Beyonce, I was like, you know what? The universe knew I would be too powerful if all these great things happened to me if I saw you and Beyonce in the same weekend.
Right.
So it's okay. I wouldn't go back. So
it's exactly what would have happened. See, that's the thing. And also, I love the shade on La Taylor, mainly because I just feel like I just have to say it. I need y'all. I mean, I think I said it before, but y'all really need to stop comparing them because they're not comparable. And on top of that, I mean, quite honestly, a world tour can only be done by certain people and not everybody. So y'all love to just America-centric. This woman who you guys stay having to defend. My thing is, y'all stay having to defend Taylor because she be doing a lot of stuff that does not align with what she says and what she sings.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody will say that they know who Taylor is as much as they will say they know who Beyonce is worldwide. That's just, get mad at your mama. But I'm going to just tell you right now, even the people I saw that at Beyonce concert, they were aunties. Okay. So she has had fans for a 25-year career. It should not be compared to that of somebody that doesn't have such a book like Beyonce.
Wow. Well, I didn't say anything, y'all.
I did.
Swifties don't come for me.
They can come for me all they want because then you're gonna have to. How good? Bad blood? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, she not friends with her friends no more. Okay, cool.
Oh, she not friends with her friends.
Oh, okay.
Anymore.
Cool.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
on that note, we had a very long intro. I'll probably cut all the 9/11 talk. Who knows?
A lot of talk.
I love when I say I'm going to cut something and then I don't.
And then you leave it in complete.
But then sometimes I don't say I'm going to cut it and I end up cutting it and then I'll reference it later in the show and then people are like, what? And I don't change that. So y'all, you're welcome. Be confused.
Well, we'll go into now Synced on Screen. And this week we watch You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah and available on Netflix. I cannot tell you.
It is not a rom-com.
It is not a rom-com. It is more of a preteen, because technically they are preteen.
It's a coming of age
movie.
It's a friend movie. It's a teen. They're 13.
Well, they're gonna be 13. They're technically 12.
But whatever. I don't know.
It was a lot though. I will just say my big takeaway is I am so happy to have not done middle school during this time period. I just feel like, whoa, y'all.
So, yeah, we don't, so this movie only came out like 3 weeks ago.
Right, yeah.
So obviously we won't spoil it, but also, Jenny, you suggested this movie, and then
I suggested it.
As we watched it, we realized it wasn't a rom-com. Why did you think it was a rom-com? Because I did not know anything about it going into it.
What's funny is I did say I don't think it's a rom-com. It's like a teen movie. That's what I gathered from it. But from what I had seen, the trailer was that the young girl, Stacy, liked a boy named, forget his name. It doesn't matter. She liked the boy, and then
Andy? Or Adam? Andy
Andy
Goldfarb.
So and these are the daughters of Adam Sandler. So it had been getting a lot of support online. People saying it's such a good movie. And so when I saw that she liked Andy, and then they showed immediately that her best friend kissed him, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe they're trying to get back together. I don't know, but it was not a rom-com. Mm-hmm. It was more of a teen movie focused on friendships changing with the coming of age, but also just different kind of life, y'all. These kids are going through it, and they record everything. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there is a part The thing is, at some point, y'all got to watch these movies because it kind of changes how we talk about them.
But a movie that just came out less than a month ago, that I feel like we can't expect people to have seen that.
But they will see what we're talking about, so they will probably click on it. That they're going to see it before they hear the episode.
You're right.
But either way, there's this one scene that is a very common trope in a lot of these friendship. It kind of reminded me of that movie Bride Wars. You ever watched it with Kate Hudson
and Anne Hathaway?
And Anne Hathaway, yeah.
I don't think I've watched all of Bride Wars, no.
Okay. So it's very similar to that. They both have an event, but they get mad at each other because of this boy, and then all the hijinks exist. But really, it's just one-sided. Stacy's the only one mad at Lydia throughout this whole movie. Lydia's just like, dude, what the hell? It was a misunderstanding and you don't want to talk about it. And she kind of blows everything up on Lydia.
It is, so the thing about this movie is that I knew what it was called. You were so not invited to my bat mitzvah. And I knew that meant a certain age group. But as I sat down to watch it and I realized that it was 7th graders, I was like, oh, I don't think I had really comprehended just how young a person is when they have a bat mitzvah. I was like, oh my God. Because even there's like a little intro montage and they're like, people do coming of age ceremonies. There's a quinceañera, there's a sweet 16 or whatever. I'm like, yes, that is true. But this is like even younger than that. And already that would be young to me. But like a 7th grader is a bébé. A bébé. Mm-hmm. A bébé.
A child.
Yes.
Truly a child.
Like, and then, so not only for them to be children, but for them to be doing these sorts of things and like talking to each other a certain way. And I was like, it felt like I was, like an anthropological exercise where I was like looking at a world in which I do not recognize, both because I am in my 30s, but also because a lot of it was like not the way my middle school experience was. So I was just like, I do not understand.
And then I had texted Gook, so I was watching it because I was like, I'm learning so much about the culture here because the Jewish culture is so different, but also this bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, the mitzvah. It's also a community service part that I didn't know was a part of the celebration. I also didn't realize that there's a school that you go to for a period of time with your other peers, but so many people from her school were actually in Hebrew school.
Yeah, it felt at a certain point I was like, is it the same school? It's not. It's not. It just so happens that every single person from her regular school, the school she goes to as a middle school student, is also the same person at her Hebrew school.
And even the one who's not
even the Jewish, ones who are not Jewish,
they are at this Hebrew school. It is fascinating. What I also thought was fascinating was I compared it to my experience going to catechist studies for my confirmation. But see, with confirmation, that course, technically you're supposed to do 2 years, but because I was in Catholic school for a year, I only went for 1 year. So everybody had the same confirmation day. So once that was over, it was over. But this I find fascinating because they all have different birthdays. So do they keep going to the Hebrew school once that person has their mitzvah, whether bar or bat, and they also have time to do the service of the mitzvah afterward? So there were some questions that, I get lost in some of those technical things because I'm like, I'm fascinated by the culture, but I also was just like curious to know, how do they all have these bonds like that? How are they all invited to everybody else's bat mitzvah and bar mitzvah? And how do you reconcile when you are mad at somebody, you still go to their party? Like,
yeah. So because I grew up in Tennessee, I was in Tennessee during this time of my life. I did not go to any mitzvahs when I was young. Like there were no practicing Jewish kids in my school at all until I went to college, truly. But Richard, he's kind of grown up all over the place, and where he went to middle school was in Louisville, Kentucky, which I didn't know this until I'd met him, and then I drove through Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky has a surprisingly large Jewish population.
Right, you told me that.
Yes, and so he is like, I've been to so many like bar and bat mitzvahs, and from what I gathered, it seems like it was the norm for just like everyone to go to all of them. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a small community or what, but yeah, I similarly was doing research. I was working on a project for my job as a television writer that may or may not exist anymore. I don't know. Where I'm adapting a book about Sweet 16 / quinceañeras, what we call them. And in places like, so where we grew up, like I was the only person, I think I was the only person in my high school who had a quinceañera. Even though I celebrated it when I was 16, it was basically a quince. But in places like Miami, where half the population is Latin American, it's similar to like this Jewish coming of age, like when everyone in your class is around the same age and celebrating this. The same thing goes for the quinces or Sweet 16s. Like every weekend they go to like a new party, and it's just like you see all of your friends from school, or you know, all of the teens who go to all the same church having a quince. And I thought that was really interesting because that did not happen for me at all.
I didn't either. I knew a lot about the Jewish community and culture, searching it out. Actually, like our church did a service program that we had a rabbi come and talk to us, and then we did the religious ceremonies. But I've never been to a bat mitzvah. I was invited to a 20-year anniversary one, and I missed it because I was traveling. But
interesting.
I find it fascinating. I'm like, wow, like, also, are they all this big? Because then I was interested to hear Adam Sandler's character, Danny. He said, my bar mitzvah was in my grandma's basement. I was like, oh, so they do have small ones? Because I've only seen them as really big ones. Like, right, and other people I know who've talked about having them, they seem pretty large too. So I thought it was fascinating to find out that you can't have it. Because my Sweet 16 was tragically small 2 months after my birthday in the backyard of my house. But either way, it was not super Sweet 16 of my dreams. But either way, I thought the whole thing was fascinating. I even thought too, I was texting throughout the movie, and I was just like, I just don't know how parents can do it, because you're dealing with so many things, and these kids were really mean.
They were mean. It's hard to talk about this movie because it's not a rom-com, and so the normal things that we would be talking about don't apply here. But overall, it was cute, I guess. It was cute. It was hard at times for me to understand the motivations of characters. And I felt like, so the main character is Stacy, the person who's planning their bat mitzvah. She's the younger of two daughters. Both the daughters are, as you mentioned, played by Adam Sandler's real life daughters. He plays their dad in this movie. Funnily enough, their mom plays Lydia's mom in this movie. That's Adam Sandler's.
Oh, that's his. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it's like, well, why couldn't she play their mom? Like it said, their mom is played by Idina Menzel, or Adele Dazeem, as we call her.
I love it. I'm glad that they all got a check.
They sure did. So Stacy was the main one, but then it felt like, and maybe in previous drafts of the script or previous cuts of the movie, the older daughter had a different storyline, but I felt like we checked in with her a lot for like really brief moments of time where she was just with her best friend Zara, and they're always watching a horror movie. And Zara, her name's Zara, right?
Zara, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zara is always over. Always. Like Zara's always there, to the point where I was like, oh, are they in a relationship?
Right. I thought that too.
And then at the end, it does not seem that they are.
No, and there's
seems
random
like they're with the boys.
These random boys that showed up that they never talked. I was like, did I miss it?
Well, those boys had been trying to talk to them all movie, and then at the end, they finally let the boys like sit with them and watch the movies.
Those are the same.
Those are the same boys.
Wow.
I just didn't understand that. I was like,
and then,
why do we keep spending so much time on this?
Is Zara also Jewish? Because it was giving that she might be, but I didn't get it. But you're right. I like the interaction of the older daughters. I thought being Adam Sandler's daughters with him not being like a classic trained act, like a dramatic actor. I thought the daughters did a really good job. Like they were funny when they needed to be funny, and they were kind of sad when they needed to. I mean, Stacey running that whole 2 scenes of her running, I was like, damn, girl.
I was very confused. It's like, girl, how close is their house to the synagogue?
And then it was random to me throughout most of the movie, randomly adding that Lydia's Latina too. And I was like, where did this come from?
She's Latina, and her father, Luis Guzman, only shows up at the end to be like honestly terrible. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. There
was no believing in me that they were actually Jewish and he was practicing this. And then also her last name, that also wouldn't have happened either. She would be Katz Rodriguez before she's Rodriguez Kat.
The father was just, honestly, from what I was getting, the father was just the pocketbook, like the checking account. Yeah, I never got the sense that he had like converted or was actually Jewish at all. It seemed like we were not supposed to care for him as a character.
We did, and I did it, turns out.
And I didn't. So they did a great job on that.
But it was cute overall. So if you guys want to catch it, it's on Netflix. Just came out. It does have a 94 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was nice. It was cute.
Well, you know Rotten Tomatoes.
We don't like them anymore?
Well, I mean, I don't have any feelings about it.
You tell me, and I won't check it.
Okay. Well, I can send you. There was like an article that came out last week or the week before about like kind of exposing Rotten Tomatoes and how it was started as a system for like actual ratings, and now it's turned into like this thing where it's not as like egalitarian as they would like themselves to see. Like it's very, I don't know. I didn't read the article because I don't care, but I can send it to you if you care more about it.
I don't really care that much because my thing is I'm the type of person who doesn't read reviews anyway, because I think all things are subjective, because they are. But
then why are you telling me about the Rotten Tomatoes?
Because some people like to hear that. So that makes people feel comfortable if they're like, oh, it has a 94 rating on right. I'm gonna watch I'm gonna watch a movie. I don't care what it is. I watch a movie right now. Well, what did you find on Al Gore's internet?
Let's do some Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for saying my mother-in-law acts as though she's in a relationship with my significant other? I am a 26-year-old female, and my husband, male 32, is a complete mama's boy. He'll call his mother for hours and talk to her and spend more time with her than he does with me. All right, calm down. I'm only in the second sentence. I recently hit my 6-month mark in my pregnancy and asked my husband to help me get ready with all sorts of things for the baby. He said that would interfere with the time spent with his mom. And I replied with, yeah, it might, but I need you more right now. And would you, wait, what? And would you if you did some other time? Okay, this person can't write, and I'm really upset by it. I'm letting them have a little leniency because of pregnancy brain, but I do not understand what they're saying. He gave me an offended look and said, you know my mom comes before you. I was kind of shocked, but I explained to him that we just needed to get ready with a few things here and there, and that I wouldn't need more help later in the week. He just ignored me and went to his mom's house. After a while, she called me and said, I won, in a snarky voice, and I just bit my tongue and said, maybe I'll win next time. And she hung up. This actually says she hanged up. I just want you to know that. I could hear my husband laughing in the background, and that just angered me for a while. And I was walking around lifting my fold upstairs. Oh my God.
Lifting my old?
my fold upstairs. My fold up upstairs. Is that a futon? I don't. Is that a Murphy map? Or is that a word for laundry? I don't know. Okay. It hurt like hell. It hurt like hell, but I got it done. I decided to paint the nursery walls another day. Our anniversary rolls around the corner a couple of weeks later, and I woke up and got my husband's gift ready that day and cooked his favorite meal. He came back from work, and I was upstairs in the bathroom, and he left. I got all eager and happy that he was bringing some sort of surprise and waited in the living room. 30 minutes go by, and I call him saying, "Where are you?" He replies with, "Oh, I'm at my mom's house." I don't appreciate what I said about this, so don't go too hard on me in the comments. I said, "She might as well be having your kid. You clearly seem like you're with her." I hung up the phone, and it was probably on speakerphone. And minutes later, I get a bunch of texts from them saying I shouldn't be jealous, I should respect my mother-in-law, and that I should maybe find something to do instead of being a bitter asshole. Am I the asshole? Wow. Update. I read through the comments. Oh boy, my husband and I have been together for 5 years, and we were married for 1.5 years. I've never really noticed things like this because of me being the blind person I am to these kinds of things. I think it all started when we got married because as soon as we did, she lived with us for about a month before leaving my all-grown son. I think my mother-in-law is competing with me, and I might even have to give my husband an ultimatum because after reading these comments, things could only get worse from here. I've talked to my husband after I posted this and asked why he visits his mom so often. His only response was that she was an important person in his life and he's grateful to her. Bullshit. I now only realize that my husband has been acting as if he's married to his mom. I'm seriously considering getting a divorce because of what I've been reading. My mother-in-law has no intentions of changing her behavior. Thank you for all the input. I'm going to have a long discussion with my mother-in-law and my husband. Oh my God.
It's not great, friend. I had a visceral reaction because there was a show called I'm Married to a Mama's Boy or I'm in Love with a Mama's Boy on TLC.
Of course.
And yes, it was on TLC. And I literally stopped watching the show. It was so disgusting. It was so like this idea of being so addicted to your mom is unhealthy, and the way they go about it, that idea of loving their mother more than they love their partner. First of all, how do you all get partners? That's what I want to know. Like, what lie are you telling these people when you do find them? But secondly, like, obviously the other extreme is not being good to your parents, but I don't know. That's just too much. It's weird. It's creepy. She should divorce him. But I also think it was weird. I saw this thing, but it's similar to this, just the way how people act when they have a baby boy. Typically moms are like so obsessed with like how they interact with it. It's weird. And exactly this is why they grow up to be like that. Y'all all need therapy.
That's the thing. Like, certainly the way the husband is acting towards his mom is unhealthy, but this wouldn't have happened if not for how the mom raised him. Like, it's, and even, let's say there's a world in which the husband is just a mama's boy, but the mom doesn't want him to be one. It is up to her, the mom, to be like, "Hey, son, you're spending too much fucking time here. Go tend to your wife because she's pregnant. I'm your mom, not your wife." And the fact that she's not saying that is because clearly she wants this. It's unhinged. It's a terrible, unhealthy relationship. 100% run, because this mom sees you as being in competition with her, which doesn't make sense because you are not filling the same roles in their lives, or you should not be filling the same role in this husband's life. Ew, this is so upsetting. I feel
so upset. I feel gross about it because it's just, then saying I won.
Right? Like, that's the part where I'm like, oh no. Like,
y'all nasty. Y'all nasty.
Something, and the fact that your husband could just be like, my mom's always going to come first. Excuse the fuck out of me. Now, why am I carrying your child? I'm sorry.
Hell nah.
Absolutely not.
That's
so
weird.
Upset.
That's creepy. And the thing is, like, I don't know. And then I also, you know what? I'm going to say something disrespectful. We should just move on.
Say it. No, say it.
I just can't. Because it's about to be about people I do know. And if they listen to this, I just can't.
They don't listen to it.
They don't listen to it. I did say that the other day. I was like, yeah, I have a podcast. We don't have that many listeners. And like, oh, I love listening to your podcast. I was like, you do?
Oh, that's nice.
They do listen to us.
Thanks, listeners. We're definitely not talking about you.
No. Just crazy people on the internet.
Okay,
but
well,
yeah,
I'll wait for you to tell me later. Okay, should I read another one? Because that was so weird.
Yeah, let's get another.
That was like pretty like cut and dry. Like, yeah, no, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for not letting my boyfriend move in because I don't want his kids in my home? Well,
it's a lot of kids ones today.
I, female 28, have been seeing my boyfriend, male 30, for slightly over a year now. He has 2 kids, a 9-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy from his past relationship, and has them every other weekend. We don't live together. He shares an apartment with his brother, and I live alone in the apartment I own. I don't like people in my space, and kids even less so. My home is my sanctuary. Recently, my boyfriend asked if he could move in with me. He is normally a chill guy, and I was sort of considering it. But I decided against it since he is a dad, and wherever his home is, his kids would have a right to it too. I don't want kids messing up my home. I told him no. But he started begging, saying how his brother wants to move his girlfriend in, they want him out, and he cannot afford an apartment by himself.
He went ahead. Broke.
I know. He went ahead and said that since I own my apartment, he would be able to save up on rent as well.
Oh my God.
I stood stern in my decision and told him while I understand his situation, I don't want to open my home to kids. He tried saying how it's just 4 to 6 days a month and he'll make sure they behave. I refused to relent, and now he's calling me an asshole because of whom he will lose custody. If he can't find a good home, his ex will sue him. Am I the asshole for not letting my boyfriend move in because I don't want kids in my space and may cause him to lose custody? So, as I was reading this, there were several times, really just like after this third sentence, that I was like, I could say right now, like, let me just stop right here because you should not date a person who has children if you don't like children.
Absolutely.
Like that,
stop
because
right there.
The kids are a part of his life. Like, please stop. And then I obviously kept reading, but the parts where he was like, I'll just move in with you because I don't have money and I'm going to lose my kids otherwise and I won't have to pay rent. That part was like, oh my God, what is happening? You're not the asshole for standing firm in your decision. I would just say, like, don't date a person who has kids.
And you don't want them. Don't date. It will never work out.
Right.
And also, just to be very clear, owning only means that you have a separate bill called a mortgage and you still have to pay on that. It's not that he gets to ride for free. Even if you did pay the mortgage, you still have yearly taxes that you have to take care of. So again, he's not living there for free. And the fact that he's just assuming you have to, girl, dump him.
He is a... yeah, that is... Oh my God. Someone in the comments wrote this beautiful form of poetry that I feel like we need to get it put on like a pillow or something. It says, no one is more in love than a broke person who needs a place to live.
Hello.
Because why is your keeping custody of your children hinging on the fact of your girlfriend letting you live in with her? Like, that's insane. And the fact that your own brother would kick you out and help you lose custody, that is sus to me, because wouldn't your brother want to let you keep custody of your kids?
Well, maybe he doesn't have a good relationship with his mom.
Like, I don't understand. So this person did an update that I'm going to read now. She says, for everyone calling me out on having a relationship with a man with children, it's not a serious relationship.
Girl,
okay, well, we didn't know that based off of the information you gave us.
Get out yourself.
She says, at least I never considered it to be. He stays over 2 to 3 nights a week at most. We never talked about commitment, long-term, or moving in before. I had, at the beginning, told him I don't want anything serious, and he has agreed to keep it casual. She says, wait a minute. She says, I am not child-free. I do hang out with kids. I have nieces and nephews I babysit at their home or take out for fun. I haven't met my boyfriend's kids because he said we weren't serious and he didn't want to bring random people into his kid's life.
Okay, now she's getting annoying.
I accepted because we aren't serious. This asking to move in was out of the blue. I don't want kids in my apartment because kids tend to be destructive and make a lot of noise. I have seen what his kids have done to the apartment he shares with his brother. They have legit broken a Mac laptop of his. If they were teens or better behaved, I might have considered more.
You're stupid. Shut up. Girl, bye. Like, you just keep defending this bullshit because you like it too. You're both complicated. Stay with each other, whatever.
I'm so confused by this. I'm not child-free. I do hang out with kids. Are you saying you're not child-free because you have children in your life that you hang out with? Because that's crazy to me. I don't understand
literally
that.
What she said.
That is not... Child-free doesn't mean you never interact with any child you've ever met. Like, doesn't mean you...
I'm saying, I know what that means. She's crazy.
I know. I'm just making it clear because I've never thought that the label child-free meant that. Like, it's weird for her to say that because I'm not child-free makes me think that you have a child, but I know that you don't.
She is... the update was unnecessary. This woman is insane. She's going to sow what she's putting out.
Also, how is it not a serious relationship? 2 to 3 nights a week, it feels like a lot for someone you're not living with if you're not in a serious relationship. Right? Like, I feel like not a serious relationship is like 2 nights a month, maybe. But it doesn't seem...
He's just going to stay there. So.
Homeless.
Whatever.
Well,
good luck, lady.
Or not. Whatever. You'll be all right. Okay, well... A lot of weird relationships today. Should we wrap this up? What are you looking forward to and or what brought you joy?
I am joyful that we got to celebrate my mom for her birthday this weekend. And she's really
Virgo
happy.
Season.
And she liked her present, which is always hard trying to get a Virgo present. So
I just sent my mom money.
I mean, that's the best course of action with a Virgo. It's important to give them what they want because they would give them what they want or give them a option to return it. That's how I see it. But she enjoyed it and that was fun. And then what am I looking forward to? I am on a host committee for a gala in this weekend. And I'm looking forward to, trying to get some money for it and, celebrating families in needs. It's called Caminado Latino, and it's a domestic violence organization that focuses on therapeutic programs for survivors, abusers, and children so that they can try to move into a healing space together. It's the only Latinx serving and Spanish speaking serving organization of its kind in Georgia. So super happy to be supporting them and trying to get them as much more money as possible. So visit caminadlatino.org for more information. We are not sponsored. Nice. I am sponsored. What about you? Awesome. Thanks.
What brought me joy? Well, all the things that I mentioned before, seeing my friend, going to a wedding, seeing my friend get married. That was really great. We took our dog to the beach, and that was fun. He had such a fun time. We don't take him to the beach that much because technically a lot of beaches you're not supposed to take dogs to. There's a dog-specific beach that's a little far away, and there you can let the dogs off leash. But there's some beaches where you can take dogs, but you can't let them off leash. And then there's most beaches where you actually just can't take dogs. But I was like, Richard, every time we go to the beach, there's dogs there. And not only are there dogs there, there's dogs off leash. And we were not going to let him off leash because he will run away from us. So I was like, let's just take him. And if we get like a ticket or whatever, we'll deal with it then. But I highly doubt anyone would say anything. So we took him. And of course, there were tons of other dogs there. And he like loves it. Like I always forget that he loves the beach, but he's just really like he loves the sand. We learned this when we first took him to visit Richard's parents when we first got him. He loves carpet, like, because they have a huge carpeted basement and he loves running on it. And we have a little bit of carpet in our apartment, but not enough for him to run a lot. Like, he likes the open space of, like, running on carpet. And so when we took him to the beach and I saw him, like, doing the same kind of running in the sand, I was like, oh, it's nature's carpet.
Oh, my God. Wait. Wouldn't nature's carpet be grass, though?
Shut up.
Listen, I
can't. It doesn't matter. It just worked for the joke and for the fact that he loves it. Like, he doesn't dislike grass, but he loves sand way more than he loves grass, it seems like. Oh. So it was really cute. And this was like 3 days ago, and he's been so tired ever since. Like, it was funny. And I like took him in the water a little bit, like let him get in the waves and stuff. And he didn't love that. And then he had to have a bath after. He certainly didn't love that. But it was fun. And I think we're going to try to take him a little more. And
that would be nice.
Let him enjoy the beach.
His golden years.
His, okay, first of all, don't make me fight you on this podcast.
Are they not?
Don't.
Is he not an elder?
I will. Genny?
How old is this dog?
I swear to God. He is, listen, this is what I noticed, and it makes me mad every time, although it did make me laugh when I first realized it. My dog is at the age where when I tell people who don't know him how old he is, they go, oh, I'm like, shut up. I hate you. How very, like, someone asked me that the other day, and I was like, did you just make a sad face when I told you how old my dog was? Like, I will kill you. I'll kill you right now. Anyway, my dog is 10. I don't want to talk about it. It's fine. It's fine. He's doing great.
He is.
He's doing great. But yes, we are.
And it's why you should take him to the beach all the time.
And it's why he's
Those are good spoiled. For his joint.
He's so spoiled. Oh yeah. He takes a lot of joint supplements and such, and you know, he eats better than we do.
Well, this was wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks. I was like, I don't know what I'm looking forward to. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Sometimes we just don't even know it.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in a month.
I know. I'm so excited.
I mean, we'll probably use that a few times, but
we'll do that. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll record next time. Baby cakes. I wonder if it will be a romcom or not.
I was gonna say, let's choose a romcom next time.
Let's choose a romcom.
Just for funsies.
Just to see if it works on 2 weeks.
Just to see if it works. Thanks for listening to Get Funny.
We hope you laughed.
But if you didn't,
we did.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye. We killed it.
Crushed it.